When is the perfect time to start something? The truth of the matter is there is no perfect time to start. You just have to start. And that's what the title of this video is start before you know how. So what I mean by that is you just need to start now or you'll never start. Most people will never start if they put something off. It's called procrastination. So their mind is basically, when they say they'll start at a later date, at this time or whatever, then they're typically never gonna start. That is just basic human nature, is to procrastinate so much that you put it off to the point where you just never get started. So this is the whole point of this video, is to explain the dangers of that and why it's so important that you just start something, whatever you're trying to do, that you start right away, no matter what type of knowledge you have, what type of experience you have, you just need to start now. So it disappoints me when I see people talking about, I'll just wait and I'll start making content next week. I'll start posting in next month after I do this and that, after I get a microphone, after I get a better camera, better setup, lighting, stuff like that. And it's like, truthfully, those are just a bunch of excuses that people put out there to avoid actually doing the work. So once you know this stuff, it's easy to see through all the different layers, all of the different like objections and stuff that people have, to see what the actual root cause is. So when they say all this stuff like that, the root cause is that they're just lazy and they don't want to start the work, or they're scared, or they have no hope that they'll ever be successful at something. So they just put it off. They want you to think that they're trying to get better and trying to get into the process of starting something, but in reality, they're just telling you that. So you'll go home and believe that lie of them getting started, and they're low-key just lying to themselves, because they know on the inside there is an underlying issue that is preventing them from getting started. So let's take content creation, for example. I see people talking about they're gonna start their content creation journey as soon as they get like a fancy setup, an editor, all this stuff. Like, it don't make any sense. You can literally take your phone camera, get like a cheap ass tripod. Like, I literally have a cheap tripod right here that just holds the phone camera. You can literally start with that for basically $20 or less. You're using your phone camera, which is decent enough, and then you have the cheap tripod, and then you can get like I have a microphone. You can literally get like a cheap mic for like $15-$20 to start out with. Like, it's not like you need a professional setup and all that stuff, but people just use that excuse, like getting all that fancy gear and stuff like that is going to improve the quality of their videos. No, like, if you have trash ideas and you can't speak fluently to the camera, your content's all gonna be trash. It don't matter what type of camera you have, setup you have. Like, you could have the most expensive setup in studio, but if what you're speaking is nonsense and trash, nobody's gonna listen to that. You're not gonna ever get any views or attraction. You need to just get started before you even know what to do. If you want to start a business but you don't know what to do, you just need to start that business. Like, you need to do your research on what the business is, what it entails, how you get clients, how you make money, and then you just need to start. And then as you're going, you're still going to be doing your research. You're still going to be learning new information through people's mistakes and knowledge, as well as your own trial and error. In both ways, you're just basically getting stronger. You're taking information from one side and then taking information from your own analysis, and you're putting them together, and that's going to help you grow even quicker. But if you're one of those people that just procrastinates and you watch videos all the time about starting a business, and you're listening to these people on YouTube and you're binge watching all their content of how to do it, how to start the business, and you know like a basic amount of information and you're not getting started, you're just procrastinating. Like, the longer you wait to start, the more difficult it's gonna be for you, and the longer it's gonna take for you to become successful and to even start making money. So think about that. The longer that you wait and procrastinate, the longer it's gonna take for you to make money. It's just a simple concept of supply and demand. Like, if you start now, you're gonna make money sooner, because you're gonna learn the game, you're gonna learn how to do everything. And going through trial and error is very big in whatever you do, whether it's content creation, whether it's your business, speaking to like your clients and stuff like that. Just getting feedback from them, yourself, your content, how it's doing in terms of like views and engagement. All that stuff is helping you grow even faster. So it's better to start now when you don't know anything and learn along the way than just waiting until you think you're gonna become some like super genius that downloads all the information, like what's his name off of Taskmaster out of Marvel. Literally just they plug him in basically. They show him all the other like heroes' like skill sets, abilities and stuff like that, and he just sits there and he takes it all in and downloads it as like it just downloads into his system, and then he suddenly knows all of those different skill sets and like techniques and stuff like that. Like that is literally comparable to what people do when they put something off and they just binge watch a bunch of content. It's basically you thinking you're just gonna sit there and your brain's gonna download all this stuff, and then you're just gonna decide to one day, hey, I'm gonna go get the best studio set up, I'm gonna get that set up and then get the best camera, all this stuff, spend a bunch of money, and then on my first video I'm just gonna get a bunch of views and be successful, make a bunch of money off of that. And they think that just because they're watching the content and they are growing, like mentally you're growing in terms of your knowledge, but physically you're not doing anything. So you're essentially staying in the same place as you were before. Because if you're not growing through knowledge mentally and physically, then you're not growing, period. The same way with physically. If you're just going out and you're clueless, but you're doing stuff every day, it's not going to benefit you because you're not mentally growing as well. So there's a saying that says work smarter and not harder. And that's essentially saying that you could go out and work as hard as possible, but still not be successful as somebody that took their time and works way less. That's essentially what this means. You have to put the physicality with the mentality. You got to put them together and be a well-balanced human being. It's that simple. So stop asking yourself whether you should start now. Get all that stuff out of your brain, because your mind is designed to basically push yourself back from something that you're uncomfortable doing. And when you're starting something new for the first time and you don't really know what you're doing, your body's uncomfortable, and that your mind making up excuses is just it telling yourself that you're uncomfortable in a situation and that you want to revert back to being normal or doing what you normally do, what's your routine every day, to be comfortable again. Your body doesn't realize like your mind doesn't realize like what the future holds if you start something new, and you're just scared of either failing, embarrassment, never being successful, putting in hard work. You might be lazy, low-key, you might be lazy and you don't want to put in the work. Like your mind is literally trying to hold yourself back from doing something uncomfortable. And what you have to do is you just have to push past your mindset. Like sometimes that stuff is all in the back of your head. Like you're always going to have those secondary thoughts telling you not to do something. But deep down in your gut, you know that you are doing the right thing when you're trying to improve yourself, trying to grow a business or whatever you're trying to do. So you just got to push past that mindset, because it's just a voice in your head. Like you're in control of your own mindset. Just realize that you're in control of your own thoughts. And when you're able to push those like negative thoughts out of your mind, you're able to think clearly. And when you think clearly, like good things happen. You get to work right away. You build yourself a mindset of you're never going to stop until you get till you reach success, till you reach the point that you want to be at. And once you get past that, you realize that it was just your imagination. Your imagination was telling you that it wasn't possible, that you didn't want to start, that you didn't have the work ethic, you didn't have the skills, you didn't have the abilities to become successful. But you literally have to push through all of that stuff. You just have to break down these walls. It's like, let's say like a wall is built around you like your whole life. It's kind of like the Truman Show. If you've ever seen the Truman Show, like his whole life is basically fake. He's in like a kind of like a simulation, but it's like a movie. So he's pretty much in like a fake film where they're just analyzing his life from a baby until the point to where he's an adult. And all he knows is that this is real life. He's trapped in like a fake world. So he's basically confined into this thing that he thinks is the world, when in reality the world is on the outside. All he knows is that little town that he's in. He doesn't realize that he's being played and stuck inside of this trap, but everybody else knows. And then he finally starts to see signs in the world of things being weird to him and things not seeming natural. So he decides to do his own research. He decides to go investigate everything. And then he realizes that he's been kept inside this like confinement his whole life, and he's really trapped inside these walls, when on the outside is the actual world. Like the actual earth is on the outside of this confinement, and he realizes that. So it's basically the same thing with your mind. Like in your head right now, when you're first starting out, you think that there's only so far that you can go. You're trapped into this confinement, into this box. But then after you get after you learn how to do this stuff like at a high level, once you reach that point, you understand that the whole time your mind just had yourself boxed in, and there was a bigger world on the outside. And that's where success lies. Success lies on the outside of that box, and it's your job to get out of that box. So you got to do whatever it takes to get out of there. Everybody's going to doubt you. And like I said, even your own mind is going to doubt you. You got to even fight against your own self. Like you got to fight against yourself, which is crazy, but that's what it takes to become successful. That's all I have to talk about in this video. It's just that there's no perfect time to start. Just start now before you know how, and you will find a way. So I'll be back with more content. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll probably do another video this week. So we'll see you later. Peace.